Many citizens of the United States of America and the members of the international community have taken to the media to express deep dissatisfaction and serious concern over the serious threat to the life of the richest man alive, Elon Musk, by a Somali TikToker. Many have called on the President of the United States of America to deport the young lady, as some have said in a very strong tone that Somali citizens have just triggered a real war with another version of an Iron Man called Elon Musk, while some have called for serious interrogation and investigation on the part of the young lady.
When
people say like this is fake, I'm like, actually, well, let's look at
kan muxuu haystaa lacag bas u haystaa baduu fool xumiye iska fool xumiye kan waa duqow dim raba. I wouldn't worry too much about this one. That albaabkiisa jooga. I wouldn't worry too much about him. He better die.
Now, many of you may be very surprised or be wondering, why would a young lady of this nature make such a threat to the life of the world's richest man, Elon Musk? In the last 2 to 3 weeks, which marked the last ending part of the year 2025, there were a whole lot of fraudulent activities that was uncovered in the United States of America, precisely in Minnesota, which the Somali descent or the Somali citizens predominantly have a very large community in that very state, Minnesota. And as alleged by many, several daycare centers and several home-owned healthcare centers have been busted in the state of Minnesota, which is predominantly owned by the Somali citizens that claimed from the origin of time when those daycare centers were registered that they are a place of learning for children. But very unfortunately, many of those daycare centers and healthcare centers are not in operation, but they continue to siphon the American taxpayers' money that runs into millions of dollars. This very shocking revelation came to the public knowledge some time ago when a popular American blogger and content creator, Nick Shelley, was moving around in Minnesota visiting many of these daycare centers that are owned by Somali citizens, disguising that he wants to enroll his little kid into the daycare centers. In some of those places, they found out that the offices or the supposed daycare centers were all closed out. In some places, he was refused entry. In some places, he was bundled out of that very vicinity. In some places, he was told politely to leave the arena. In fact, one of the most shocking was where even the word learning was wrongly spelled in a supposed quality daycare center. First of all, make una listen to the short video clip of Nick Shelley, and we shall take it from there.
Here in Minnesota, massive fraud is taking place within the government and the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong and they said leering. This daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these childcare centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday. And if you were to try to go inside, it's completely closed and the windows are all blacked out. No one's working. Midday, children should be in here, and this place is licensed for 99 children, and this is the outside. There's no windows, no nothing, and like I said, they literally spelt the word wrong on their sign. This is open and blatant fraud taking place here inside of Minnesota. The government is complicit with this, and this is just one of the hundreds of child daycare centers here inside of Minneapolis being ran by the Somali population. It's sad that it's happening here in Minnesota, and it stinks that it's happening and it's being labeled on the Somali population. However, that's just the facts of what's happening here inside of Minnesota. $1.9 million for this daycare center that can't even spell learning right.
Immediately after this young man posted this very video, Elon Musk was one of the persons that gave the right audience and traction to that very video clip by sharing it on his X handle, formerly Twitter, which attracted over 100 million views. And thereafter, Elon Musk equally lent his voice to say that it is the Democrats who have over the years been importing illegal immigrant or illegal migrant into the United States of America and handing them over the government playbook and the free will to commit fraud and crime without any accountability. It was after this very incident or this very public speech by Elon Musk that we started to see in the last 48 hours the threat from the Somali, TikToker, who said, according to her, that she wouldn't worry so much about Elon Musk. Say the man go by. It's laughable, it's funny, but it's a very serious threat. Well, I do know that Elon Musk is a kind man. Personally, he will go ahead probably to forgive this young lady. But I'm also pretty sure that Elon Musk will never forgive this young lady through DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, which is a sub-department that was created under the administration of Donald J. Trump, which is being led or spearheaded by Elon Musk, that has helped the government of Donald J. Trump to uncover a lot of frauds and crime going on in the United States of America. So Elon Musk will probably do a lot more, under DOGE, under the OGE, to uncover many of the fraud going on in the United States of America, peculiarly that which has been masterminded by the Somali descent. In furtherance to all of this, revelation that is currently going on in the United States of America, another video clip started trending that gave a summary of the fraud that is being carried out by this Somali descent in the United States of America that runs into millions of dollars. Mona, watch the video.
This building right behind me has 22 different home and community-based healthcare companies registered in the building. It's only 4 floors. I walked in there yesterday trying to find a number of them. Many of them are they appear to be just window fronts, door fronts, with nobody behind. So same story, different location. We're here in St. Paul at this building, which looks like a warehouse or a dilapidated old building. Inside this building, there are 60 registered home and community health care organizations inside this one building. We're here in Northeast Minneapolis, and we're at a building that I believe is on the radar of authorities. They have questions about it. A lot of the businesses in here are home health care businesses. Of the total businesses, there's 37. 17 of them are home health care businesses. There's just layer upon layer upon layer of fraud throughout this city, Jessica. As for whether Governor Walz is going to testify before the Oversight Committee, that remains to be seen. We asked him at his office if he was going to testify, and we have yet to hear back.
Well, you must know that I am not an advocate of any form of rascality. Hence, the reason I am reading this news is also going to be a reminder to all of us in Africa, in Nigeria, that crime and fraud, which I've always told you people, does not know any race. It does not know tribe. It does not know color. So fraud can be committed in any part of the world as far as human beings are concerned. You can tell clearly if investigation is concluded and all these persons are found guilty. You can tell that they didn't commit all of this fraud and crime alone. They have syndicates, they have counterparts that have helped them to perpetrate this crime for many years, collecting taxpayers' money on nothing. This is also one of the lessons we must learn when you see me criticizing our political office holders in Nigeria. When you criticize people who have committed crime, one of the weapons they use is that they will threaten you. They will threaten you and threaten to even unalive you. We have seen that happen among our political class. That is why it is very easy for politicians in this part of the world to pick you up with the police, with the security agencies, the moment you criticize them, because they know that they are doing the wrong thing and they don't want to go through the legal means of addressing their inadequacies, if there is any. In similitude, this is also part of the crimes we have seen over time in this part of the world, Africa, in Nigeria, when we begin to talk about over-bloated government budgeting and project, white elephant project, a job that is supposed to be done with $1,000, you see politicians quoting $20,000. Reckless spending, and nobody is taking accountability for anything. You know what I mean? So imagine under the leadership of the governor of Minnesota, this type of crimes, this type of fraud has been going on for a long time until Donald Trump now came on board You know what I mean? So you can tell that when you have decisive leaders who does not have any interest on the state resources, I can tell you, it goes a long way to reduce fraud and criminality by 60 to 70%. Like Peter B will always, cite or quote, when you are a thief, before another thief will steal, your own part of the criminality is already added into the budgeting. But if you stop stealing, you have reduced criminality and fraud by a larger percentage. This must also be a wake-up call for all Africans. We must rise up to build our country. If you don't rise up to build your country with integrity, with accountability, intentionally, we will continue to run to the West to look for what to thief and what to steal. Some people are still, hiding under the platform of what happens during the slave trade era, and how much the West stole from Africa and all of that, and they are still using that as a justification for their fraud and their criminality, which I cannot be part and parcel of that. There are times and seasons you cannot say because your parents were poor after the Nigerian Civil War, or that the war made your parents poor. Because of that, you will continue to fight the Nigerian government. That is insanity. Yes, that is insanity. That means you have not moved on. That means you have not learned the right lessons on how to be independent in channeling and charting a new course for your own personal life. If everybody begin to fight back on the past event, we all will not be alive. All the people you offended while you were in primary school, in nursery school, in secondary school, in university, all of them will come after your life and destroy you. That is a typical example of what you are citing. Well, I hope that this video, makes sense to somebody out there and understand that criminality will always destroy political leadership. Until we say no to that, we will not have a sane society. At this point, I will allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. My another person see you. God bless you.